Hi, I'm Kurt with Travers Tool Company. Probably one of the most common cutting tools is a basic drill bit. There's a lot of discussion about drill bits and the different types, lots of information out there about them. Thing is, though, you have to hold the drill bit in something, and there isn't a whole lot of information about that. So in this video, I'm going to talk about the drill chucks, how to use each one, the different styles, and maybe which one would be better for you, the different types of shanks, how to mount the chucks in the shanks, take them apart again, all that kind of stuff. So let's get right into it. To start with, let's talk about the different types of drill chucks there are. So probably the most common, I don't know, maybe not, but a very common type is the keyed style chuck. It's called that because it takes a chuck key, and that's how the drill is tightened and loosened inside the chuck. I'll demonstrate that and the others in just a minute, but another one is a keyless chuck. There's no place to put on a key on this because it's just tightened and loosened by hand. And then finally, we have a sensitive chuck, which is there's a little chuck on the end of this that's a keyless chuck, but it's a little bit different than the others here. So we'll describe that once I get it into the machine. Next, we'll discuss the shanks. There's the least expensive of all of them, which is the straight shank. It just goes into a round collet, just like that. Obviously, the collet goes into a machine. There's the R8 shank, meaning this part of the shank goes into the R8 spindle. Most milling machines have the R8 spindle in them, so that's a common style. And there's the Morse taper in a variety of sizes. So also, by the way, the straight shank is available in a wide variety of sizes. This one just happens to be a 1/2 inch. So similarly, the Morse taper shank is also available in a lot of different sizes. This one is the keyed drill chuck, called that because we're going to need this chuck key to tighten and remove that drill bit from there. Before we do, though, we can open it by hand and get the drill bit up in there and just tighten it, but that's not going to be tight enough. Unlike the keyless chuck, that's not going to hold once you start using it. So we're going to need that key and tighten it up really well. And it's ready to use. This one is the keyless drill chuck. It works very simply. Just open the jaws up by hand with the machine stationary, the spindle not moving. And you put the drill bit up into the jaws and just tighten it right up. And that's in there solid. If you have very small holes to make and you're using a tiny, tiny little drill bit, if you use the spindle of the machine, you're not going to be able to feel that tiny little bit of drill and feel how much it's drilling. So the solution for that is to use a sensitive drill chuck. And what it is, this particular one is a keyless chuck. You just put the drill bit up in there and tighten it just like you would the keyless chuck. With such a small drill bit, it's easy to get the drill bit along in between the three jaws rather than centered between all three of them. Once you get the drill bit in there, it's good and tight. What you can do is start the machine up, and the reason it's called a sensitive drill chuck is because without moving the spindle of the machine, you can actually move that drill bit, and you can feel it in your fingers by how much it's going down. We talked about the shanks earlier, but we didn't talk about the arbor that's on the other end of the shank. That arbor has what's called a Jacob's taper. It's not the brand name, it's just the type of taper that it is. And there's a female Jacob's taper in most drill chucks. So some are threaded, but very, very few. So when you order either a drill chuck or the shank, make sure that it has the same Jacob's taper, because they're in different sizes. It'll say JT 2 or 3 or whatever the size is. Make sure they're both the same between the arbor and the hole in the drill chuck. So what's the best way to install that arbor into the shank? Well, it has to be clean. I already cleaned this off pretty well with a chemical spray. I also cleaned the inside of the hole. Best thing to use is your finger, and you can feel for any kind of debris in there or any burr, anything like that. If there was a shank in there before, or rather an arbor in there before, it might have galled up. You need to feel for anything, any kind of debris between the arbor and the drill chuck is going to make your drill turn off center. So that's got to be spotless clean. All right, so I got that clean. Everything inside the hole is clean. I'm just going to put it in there as far as it'll go, just by hand. And then I'm going to turn the chuck so that the jaws of the chuck are well inside of the chuck itself. I'm going to squeeze this assembly, the chuck and the shank, in my machine vise, but I don't want to touch the jaws. I only want to touch the body of the drill chuck. Now, there are a few different ways to do this. Some people use an arbor press. I don't have one. Some people that don't have an arbor press or a good machine vise just give it a whack with a hammer, either at this end or at that end. I don't know. I guess it works, but it's kind of crude. But the way I'm going to do it is just put it in my machine vise and kind of use that as a press and get it nice and tight right in there. All right, and there it is. That's as permanent as it's going to get. It stays amazingly well, just like that. So now, what if I want to remove the shank from this chuck and maybe replace it with an R8 shank on it instead, or something else? I'm going to show you how to remove that shank, but first of all, I would not recommend doing it very many times. A couple times, maybe 3 times. The Jacob's tapers do not like to go in and out a lot of times. So unlike the Morse taper, which is the shank on our keyless chuck, that'll go in and out of a spindle all day long, no problem at all. But the Jacob's taper, on the other hand, give it a few removals and replacements, and it's going to get tired, and the chuck could release from the arbor. So that being said, you don't want to do it very often. Usually people do it just to replace the chuck with a new one. But anyway, here's how to replace it. So open the jaws up, get yourself a nice soft punch, and put it down in there. Now, most chucks have a through hole all the way through the chuck, and you can see plenty of daylight all the way through there, as is the case with this one. Not all of them do that, but most do. So I'm going to snug down on my punch, as you can see, and then loosen it up just a little bit. And I'm holding on to the shank with my fingers, just so it doesn't go flying across the room. And that's how you get it out. And there's my punch back again. And you might be able to see that hole going all the way through there. But anyway, that's how you remove the Jacob's taper from a drill chuck. So next thing we'll talk about is the Morse taper. And I've had customers who have called and they look at this little thing, the little arbor sticking out of their machine, and don't realize that the shank is still inside the machine. They think this is the part of the machine. So if you have a drill press, if you pull the spindle down, you'll see a little elongated hole or slot in it. Might be easier to see on this one. And what that does is when you put the shank, so this would be the same as the spindle on a machine. I don't have a machine with a Morse taper in it. I need to use an adapter. So the way this works is you have to line the tang up. This little flat part on top is called the tang. You have to line that up with the slot. If I don't, it doesn't go in. So I twist it and it goes right in. So just a tap with the butt of your hand and it's in there really solid. So now you can see that tang in there through that slot. To get it back out again, you use a wedge just for this purpose. Keep the tapered side against the tang, the straight side up against the top of the slot. And I'm going to hold on to my drill chuck, give that a whack, and it comes right out. So then what about getting these in a lathe? So I've never seen or heard of a tailstock on a lathe that isn't some size Morse taper. So this just happens to be a number 2 Morse taper shank, and I know I have a number 2 Morse taper in my tailstock. So super easy to get it in there. Just get it kind of lined up and give it a push, goes right in. And there it stays. And to get it back out again, not going to pull it out. So just wind the tailstock back until it stops. You can feel that stop right there. And then with the butt of your hand, just give it a little tap and it pushes right out. So I hope you got some takeaways from this video. I hope you realize the difference between the chucks and how to use them, mount them, etc. Thanks for checking out the video and stay tuned, see what's coming up next.